Do you ever wish, that there was some, a small private LKML group where you can just, like when you go to board meetings or when you listen to coaches telling their, players on the field, they use all kind of words. So, because whatever you say becomes public and people pick it up and they don't know the context.
Honestly, no. I mean, we have private mailing lists for security issues. We have private mailing lists sometimes for, actually, quite often it's not mailing lists. It's just when you have some issue come up and you just email a group of people because it's maybe not sensitive, but it's something that also you want to talk about. I mean, usually it's not code. Usually it's about maintainership issues, things like that. So we do have private email, but almost always when that happens, I find it to be problematic because then you don't end up having archives of it. You end up having to bring new people in and they are missing all the context. So I'm much happier just having all the discussion in the open. And it doesn't always work that way. And it does mean that then when people get heated, that's in the open too. But I think that's healthier than trying to kind of say it doesn't exist.
How does it affect you personally when you get all mad and angry and you're still in your bathrobe?
So what happens to me is sometimes I get the reason I get upset is almost always the same. Is somebody's not acknowledging a bug that they introduced and trying to say, hey, we don't need to, I fixed the problem. Never mind the fact that somebody's now complaining about the fact that I also introduced the problem. But I occasionally explode and then I fire off an email and then I forget about it. I mean, I don't tend to stay upset all that long. I have noticed that because there are like news people that follow my email and then write a story about the exploding ones that are fairly rare in the end. I have actively stopped responding sometimes. It needs to be something I really care about. So I never respond a lot to email. I just get too much of it. But in the last few years, I've just decided, it's just less pain to not even respond at all sometimes. So it has resulted in me going quiet sometimes, but it's not a huge issue.
Respond to the press queries about it?
No, I actually usually like talking to journalists, responding to flame wars on the mailing lists. I'm like, I want to respond and then I decide, no, let's just press delete instead, right? It's not worth the pain. But it's actually fairly rare. I mean, I explode maybe once a year, a couple of times a year.
And most are just justified, mostly,
Well, I think so.
No, because people have to see the context. They don't look at the context.
That's one of the issues is even if it were justified, it's quite often that people don't see the context.
Exactly.
And then obviously the normal day-to-day stuff that doesn't generate flame wars also does not generate news. So I mean that's understandable. That's how everything works. It's not about open source. I mean, this is how
the whole
politics in the US, right?